Hudson knew.
He messed up.
Hashtag Rosetta Reigns.
Y'all crazy.
I'm so done with y'all right now. But yeah, so there is still racial profiling, whether the cop is black, whether the cop is white, because really once they put on that uniform, and a cop will tell you this, it's all about the blue.
Yep.
It's they become a race in themselves.
Now, technically, the meaning of racism, a black person cannot, technically, of the definition of racism, be racist against another black person. Because
Right. That's why I won't label it racism.
Right. But like she said, it definitely is. Like, even more than just racial profiling. Because I don't know what this situation was, which I told about this one, I think. So I went to go see my mom, and the area where my mom is at is predominantly a white area, right? I know what that is. There is a junior high school that I think now is a junior high school / high school that's down the block from this Dunkin' Donuts where my mom is at. Okay. And the two young men that walked in were black men, black young boys, and they were darker complexion, and they looked very preppy to me. Right. I mean, maybe I don't got the right definition of preppy, but they had on like khakis, and they had the book bag was all the way on. You know what I'm saying? Like one of them was wearing glasses. No, but you would think that this would mean something to cops that are racial profiling,
right?
Or just picking you out because you look like a thug. What they feel like a thug will look like, your pants underneath your butt, stuff like that. These two boys, not at all. Now. It was a bunch of cops in there, but it was a bunch of white cops with these two black female cops, right? The white cops didn't bother these little boys. They walked in, mind their business. The white cops nodded at them. They must see them all the time. Right. It was the black chicks. Sometimes I think black people in higher positions or what they feel like is a
ooh, girl, that is a whole nother topic in itself.
We gotta hit on that after ladies' night.
Yes, that's a whole nother topic in itself
I'm not gonna go there too much
because that goes beyond cops. That's like
that's why I said black people in higher positions. Okay,
because I got some stories.
Girl, me too. Okay. Sometimes they feel like they have to be extra to their own people.
Yes.
To make to kind of fit in with their white colleagues. Okay? And they feel like if they do that to you, then maybe I'll get up in the industry that I'm in. So, like I said, these are the two little black boys. They walked in, they look real preppy. Okay? White cops didn't bother them. But one of the black ones said, "What y'all doing out of school? It's the middle of the day. Y'all don't want to get picked up for truancy." Now, everybody know all these schools nowadays get to go out for lunch for one. So a little boy said,
"Not my school."
No. But now, if you're a cop in a certain area, you should know about the schools in that area. Do they get to go out for lunch? Like, what's the pattern? What's the standard?
Not only that,
do your homework.
But when was this? Was this like last week?
Oh, I didn't tell you about this. I must have told Ricky then. About 2 weeks ago. When it was kind of still nice outside.
Because I was going to say, because, like high schools, they have Regents Week, and all high school students did not have to be in school that week.
This week, they actually was in school, and the little boy said, one of the boys said, we're at lunch. And she was like, at lunch? Really? Y'all snuck out of school? Now, the funny thing is that the white cops didn't come to bat for them until after. The white cops let this go. As long as it was going to go, right? So I'm sitting there stirring my tea. The tea. So anyway, the boy said, "Oh, you must not be from this neighborhood." And she was like, "Oh, really? Like, why?" And he was like, "We get to go out for lunch." He was like, "We come here every day." Right.
Get your life.
And then she looked at the white cop and was like, "They get to go out for lunch over here? Chick, you stupid fool. You should have asked your colleagues first. Did your homework.
You know that you new to the neighborhood. But no, you wanted to cause a scene.
Right.
Shots fired.
Right.
Bang, bang.
DJ Shade in the building. So it's like.
No bitch assness, even if you're a cop.
Exactly. So I'm sitting there stirring my tea, and I just snickered. I was like. And she was like, I was like. And then I walked out because my mouth, it would have went down.
Said what? I said,
went down. Right. And so she was like, okay. I'm just making sure. And then the white cop was like, yeah, I see them all the time. No, they're good guys. Now you want to say something?
Right.
They probably
But
wanted her
either
to
way-
look like the fool for a minute.
Exactly.
Right.
Like, we gonna let her
Either
rock.
way,
She
boo
smelling
boo, pick up
herself.
your face. It's probably still on Dunkin' Donuts floor.
Thank you. So I don't even know what that was because these boys didn't even in the least look like they was from the streets or even about any kind of life.
Right.
Except for that homework life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's
Don't
what
let
I
that
mean
fool
about
you, though.
sometimes people. But I'm
Looks
just
can be
saying, but
deceiving.
that's what I mean
Really?
about sometimes black
Facts.
people that think that they got some kind of superiority, feel like they just want to mess with other blacks in front of whites. Now I bet you had them white cops not been there, had they not been in the white neighborhood, they wouldn't have cared. I'm just saying.
It's so iffy when it comes to racial profiling, like, cause nowadays you can't like base it off of what someone wears.
No.
Because I kid you not. I'm not going to say his
The
name.
biggest drug dealers wear good clothes.
Yeah,
You never know.
there was a kid.
They'll be in a 3-piece suit.
Right.
There was a kid
Might have a
that
fur
went
one.
to my school. For everybody that go to my school is watching this, y'all know who I'm talking about. Leave it alone.
Mind your business, he said. Mind your business.
But he's not
Tell
at,
nobody.
he's not at the school anymore. And every day that we saw him, he had excellent clothes. He always wore a blazer. Almost like on the first day of school, everybody thought he was a teacher.
Oh.
And he let that rock for like half of the day. He didn't tell nobody nothing. He gave them lessons and all that. Everybody thought he was the coolest person. Everyone thought he was the nicest person. He participated in the clubs. He was cool with all the teachers. He was outspoken but never rude. All of that. You would think that he was one of the most perfect human beings. He was on hard body drugs. And I kid you not, you would have thought he was the kingpin. He did everything from ecstasy to Molly, from weed to everywhere. He did everything. He sold everything. No one would have thought that. I didn't even know that until after he left. And I was like, well, dang. Thank God I didn't hang out with him after school.
Right.
But like, the same way I explained him, if you saw him out in the street, you'd think he's mad cool. You wouldn't think he does any of that.
Right. You wouldn't know.
He'll fly like so low under the radar that no one would notice him. Nobody would think, oh, there's a major drug dealer in this neighborhood.
Right.
We need to find him. Now he's sitting here, he's strolling right past y'all.
Right.
He's selling in front of the precinct.
Right.
He's so smooth.
He
Y'all don't
probably
see
sell
it.
it. He probably sell it to cops too.
Like,
Let me tell y'all. Don't let me
tell
throw a
you.
game tape on y'all cops.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a game tape. When I was growing up as a teenager, right?
long
And
ago.
really,
I love you.
It was
Throwback.
Long ago.
Throwback,
Only
no
five.
Thursday
it wasn't
night.
that long
Only
ago.
five. Okay, you only 5 years old. Right
I love
now.
you.
Anyway.
We gonna talk about that when we get home.
Go ahead, Nikki.
Uh-oh.
I got your back.
So-
tag me. Okay.
So
I got Frank.
hanging
It's
out
okay.
in a particular project. So I'm not gonna say too much because I don't know. I don't need the cops knocking on my door. Y'all know where I be at every Friday, so I'm gonna just leave it alone. But there was a particular cop who used to come around just to smoke weed with the guys downstairs in front of the building
Girl, Bob,
while he was on his beat.
they the best freaking customers. That's all I gotta say.
While he was on his beat, he just come through. Yo, let me hit that.
Absolutely.
He hit it, and then he be out. And I was like,
Yep. In their uniform too. They don't care. They don't got no respect.
right.
And
it's
those be the
crazy.
same ones though doing police brutality,
Exactly. But
overcompensating for their faults.
I'm glad that you brought up that kid that dressed real nice and this, that, and the other, because that is the issue with racial profiling. That's the issue with profiling. That's why nobody wants it to happen, because that means, like, anybody is subject to. Your dad has been pulled over or taken into custody and this, that, and the other just for having a certain amount of money in his pocket. But meanwhile, they didn't have no reason to search him in the first place.
Right.
Give you a story. I was at work. He was supposed to be picking you up. It was a Friday night. You know how he used to pick you up every Friday and this, that, and other, keep you for the weekend. It was a Friday night. I'm at work. I get a call from the cops. Was like, oh, I'm just giving you a courtesy call because we picked up. They think everybody your husband. We picked up your husband.
Right.
You got to find
Oh, I
somebody
hate
to
when
pick
they
up
do
your
that.
son. And I was like, huh? So then when I finally spoke to him, he was like, yeah, they pulled him over. They, well, not pulled him over. He was walking in the street. But they stopped him, he went to go pull out his ID. He had just cashed his paycheck.
Right.
So he had
Everybody don't got direct deposit.
He had his,
mind your business.
Right. I mean, and this was back before.
No shame, no shame.
But this was back before direct deposit was a regular
He got
thing.
the bad mic. He got the bad mic.
This is before direct deposit was a regular thing. You know what I mean? So he had his whole paycheck in his pocket, and he used to do construction.
Right.
So it was a nice paycheck in his pocket. You know what I'm saying? And
that's why I love my blue collar men, y'all.
Because he had that money in his pocket. That's why they took him in, because they figured he must be a drug dealer. Because he's wearing jeans.
Right.
He's wearing Timbs. He had on a hoodie. And he got mad money in his pocket.
I can't stand it.
And so he spent, and since it was a Friday night, and nothing really goes down on the weekends for a central booking, he was in there till Monday.
I can't.
Just for being a hardworking citizen walking down the street.
So now y'all still think it only happened to people that's in the streets?
I'm not so much trying to change mine because it's good that you are respectful.
You are kind.
I'm not trying to change your mind from that either. I'm just saying be aware of your surroundings because it could happen to you as easily as it happened to anybody else. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
Do not in no shape, form, or fashion go out there disrespecting police.
Right.
Not at all.
Absolutely not. Because what happens is sometimes even if they see a bunch of people working together, 3 or more. Right. You know what I'm saying? 3 or more guys working together. Y'all
they just think that something is going on.
Oh, they want to stop y'all just because y'all working together. Y'all must be a gang. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like, just don't be naive to the situation. Right. You know,
and make sure all y'all got on a different color when y'all all walking in the street.
Because if y'all all wearing the same color,
y'all all wearing the same color,
y'all all wearing brown, then all of a sudden y'all the brown crew.
You know that is so hard to avoid nowadays. There are so many gangs that take over so many colors. It's not even funny.
Let somebody come in my face.
There's Emerald Gang.
I kid you not. One of my teachers came up to me and he said, "Beware the gang across the street." I ain't gonna tell y'all what hood because I don't want that gang to find me.
Right. I bet it. But I don't want them to find you either.
Right. And he was like, "They are the Coca-Cola gang." I was like, "What?" I thought he was joking. Mm-hmm. You know, I had my own little jokes.
They really.
I was like,
they just was calling them that.
So you like Coca-Cola or Pepsi?
Ooh, there might be a Pepsi gang just to be the rival.
Girl.
Right. I was like, what do you do?
They had Decepticons and Autobots. That was kind of dumb. I mean, it's a cartoon, dude. Like
Autobots roll out.
Y'all really took that to heart.
Yeah.
Right.
I was so caught off guard when he said
they
it.
had the Thundercats.
But it turns out
do they have a specific color?
The He-Mans, you know what I'm saying?
Red, and that was around the time I had got a red sweater.
See, they
So how you differentiate them from the Bloods?
I guess because Pepsi also has blue.
That's what I asked.
So they want to make a Pepsi gang. Pepsi will wear blue.
But then they look like Bloods and Crips. Like your gang is failing.
The Dr. Pepper,
off of fashion alone.
There are certain type of Bloods and there are certain type of Crips because not all Crips bangs with each other and not all Bloods bangs with each other.
All gangs are like that. They don't always, but you know.
But the thing is,
there are like specific areas like we are Bronx Crips. You are Brooklyn Crips.
We don't
Stay
like
in
your kind.
lane.
Right. It's not like that. Max to the building.
No, but it is like that in some places though, because I be watching. Okay.
Well, TV is not the best.
No, listen. Because I was watching Gangland. It was like a TV show. They highlighted different gangs and different.
That's TV is not the thing to watch.
But listen. Right. I mean, and it's not even like here. It's like in Alaska. But the Alaska,
they different,
right? But there's like there's Crips in Alaska, but there's not a lot of different gangs in Alaska. So they actually the different chapters have beef with each other.
I'm telling you, man.
But they all say that they're Crips.
Back in the days, that used to be true. Like if you have a gang that have different legions, one legion don't want the other legion to cross certain blocks. Because that's their block. It's territorial.
It's like that in Far
and I know that for a fact.
Yeah.
So you can't sit here and tell me that gangs don't be having rivals against their own people. Because they do.
Yeah, they do.
They do. I know that for a fact. That is so true. I'm just saying.
Stop using the alphabet for
sorry.
your gang activity. It makes
It's
it
true
so
though.
difficult.
Let me tell you something. Back in the days, gangs was fighting over freaking Broadway and Bushwick. The same gang against each other. Oh, well, we told y'all don't cross the street, son.
It's my
Are we
sidewalk.
really fighting because we crossed the street?
I
I got a boo that live across the
I
street.
just want to get a bummy.
Keep structure. To keep structure.
But that's what I'm saying. So you can't say that don't happen because that does. It does happen when gangs spread like make different chapters and different legions. Sometimes they beef against each other if they cross certain paths. Because guess what? It's not really always about the violence. People think that gangs are really all about the violence.
No.
They trying to build businesses. Like they like, yo, I'm making money on this block, so don't come mess my money up. And then if you got beef, like if we in two different legions and you got beef with somebody on my block and you come on my block and they know that you down with the same crew that I'm down with, then you just mess my customers up.
Can't we all just get along?
So it's true. I just wanted to make that clear.
Even in gang life, can we all just
Right. But back to being black.
We're colored.
We're happy and we're singing and we're brothers. No, we're brothers.
No, we're brothers. We're happy to see you.
We're brothers.
Give me a high five. I'm done. So that was good. This was a good show.
Yeah, this was a
very
good show.
educational.
It is
So
a pleasure to be here.
what was y'all done?
I'm so glad that I have respectful young men. You
Yes,
just don't
Lord.
understand. This is a blessing. I do not have. Well, I worry about them just because the color of their skin.
Right.
I have to worry about them, but as far as them getting into anything crazy, I don't have to worry about
Yes.
that.
That's
Most
the best
likely
thing nowadays.
they at home playing video games anyway. But
Pretty much.
Xbox.
when they do go out,
PlayStation.
you know, I don't have to worry about them doing anything crazy on their part.
Right.
I just got to worry about the crazy world around them.
Right.
But that's kind of a blessing because I know people who don't have that luxury.
But aren't we all a little crazy though?
Wow.
Well,
I'm not crazy.
Crazy America. Come on.
Come on. Come on.
So tell me something before we close out. I want y'all to give us a Don't Do That Dummy shout out each for one, but do that after. But I want to know, so what do you look forward to as far as being black in America?
I'm going to answer this one. I let Frank go on the last one, so yeah. I'm looking forward to see better progression. I think, well, that's what we all looking forward to. But
No, but it's fine to say it.
yeah, a progression in a way where more people are becoming like more aware of, you know, certain things that have to do with black culture and, you know, different type of religions and different type of groups and stuff that they stand for and what they try to strive for. And people are slowly starting to become more respectful, and all these things are starting to become more known that wasn't known like 5 years ago. So what I mean by progression, that we'll be less ignorant.
That's good.
Like, I don't mean like us. I mean like us as people.
As a people.
We will be less ignorant, and we will be more aware of the things that we do, and that we will be able to respect ourselves even more. That way we can not just show that we're united when one of us dies, but we're united
Right.
just in general.
Right. Oh my God, that just hit me. That's so
Because
important.
that's my baby.
Because in all
It
honesty,
seems like people wait until people die before they want to show respect and pay homage.
exactly.
And want to come together as a people.
Honestly, with everything with these police brutalities, like with Sandra Bland and all these other people who have died within the past year and all these different situations, like these situations have drawn people more closer and created more awareness. Like in my school, we have more discussions about being black and what it means to be black, and you know everything that comes from, and even not even just being black, but with other religions, with other races, and stuff like that, and everything that they stand for, and how they feel, and their opinion on things.
Right.
So it's like we become more aware, but it really does suck that we had to wait until one of us died for us to do that. Right. I would like for us to progress without a death.
Right.
without a casualty. Let's just do it because we don't want to be ignorant.
That's just like families that wait until somebody in the family die before they talk about, hey, let's have a family reunion.
Yes.
We never see each other, but then they don't never do it
It's
until
like
somebody else die.
it's like instead of waiting for a death to happen just to start trending with everybody else in the world, how about we just motivate each other to push ourselves to be better? I mean, we had Obama, man. He's been in the office for 2 years. I mean, for two terms. Two terms. Yeah, because I say years as terms.
Be quiet.
But it's like, us as black people, we're not just black. We are, African Americans. We help build this country just as the next white man or white woman.
The white people ain't help build nothing. They just stole it. I'm sorry. Anyway.
They will never see that.
No one will ever see that. And that's the thing about it. Instead of us trying to put each other down, we got to unite. And I'm not talking about black people. I'm talking about us as Americans as a whole. Like, we got to try to put, everything into light. Like,
absolutely.
No lie, racism is still around. Like, we all know that.
Oh, man.
But
you might need to be on our show at the end of the month. Anyway.
But it's like, at the end of the day, we can help, crush all of that. But at the end of the day, we have people that's ignorant. They're going to believe what they want. But
the same way you have like how you agree with us, there are other people who also do. There are other people who have the same view on this as we do.
Right.
And we should encourage them to speak out more, to strive more to be heard, so that their words won't go unforgotten, and we won't just attack like separate things, but we will attack the main root, which is ignorance itself.
Right. Yes. And I want to make this last note before y'all give us our don't do that dummy shout out. I want everybody to hashtag proud to be black. And the reason why I want y'all to hashtag that and hashtag that when y'all get on your phones, hashtag proud to be black. The reason why is because something happened earlier when we were asking him what's his DJ name, right? And then Lil Kev shouted out Blackie, right? And he kind of put his head down. Frank put his head down. Now, little Kev said that in like an endearing term. You know what I mean? But you put your head down as if that may have like been almost like an insult to you. And let me tell you something. Me growing up as a dark-skinned child, I'm going to tell my story another day, but I'm going to just give you a brief of why I feel a certain way about that. Because I'm dark-skinned, I have been called all kind of black, tar, Shaka Zulu. And the craziest so-called insult that I've gotten was, oh my God, you look African. So when I was growing up and my mom put me in a white school, shout out to my mom, but I was mad about that, you know that. So anyway, I actually, the person I am today came from a lot of my anger from when I was a kid of being ridiculed for being dark-skinned. Mm-hmm. And I was made to feel like being called African was a bad thing. And it wasn't until I started growing up and I was raised in a predominantly West Indian African neighborhood. Right. And I always thought African women were the most beautiful women ever. They had the best shapes. Their eyes are amazing. They have the best hair. And their skin is gorgeous. But still, growing up in this white school, I was being made to feel like, oh my God, is it bad to be African? And then in school, all they teach you about is how Africans were taken over by white people. So now I feel like we look weak. So it's like all this history just made me angry. But then as I grew up, I realized, oh my God, I'm proud to be black. Then I started realizing I'm beautiful. My skin is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? However I'm made, I'm beautifully made. Right. Whatever complexion I am, it's a beautiful complexion. So I am so sick of, and I want the world to hear this because kids do it all the time. My daughter is dark skinned, beautiful complexion, beautiful girl. But when she was even in junior high school, and even in elementary school. But this one thing happened in junior high school. We was coming into our apartment complex, and this little boy, he always had rival with her. And he was like, oh my God, you so black, oh my God. And meanwhile, he was darker than she was. And I let him have it. I said, where's your mother? You black. And guess what? You beautiful, just like her. Why is that an insult? Because when he said it, his homeboy was like, oh. And I was like, I don't understand. Why is black, calling someone black, an insult? So we need to stop that. And we need to trend proud to be black. Because being black should not be something that you are ashamed of. When somebody call you black, you don't put your head down and be like, yeah, son. I'm black. That's right. You know what I'm saying? That's not the way to respond to being called black, because you are black, but you are black and beautifully made. And don't let nobody say you handsome for a dark skinned person. I can't stand that. Punch them right in their face. Don't do that. But anyway,
it's just like it's just like when people tell me, "Oh, you pretty to be a big girl." Like,
right.
So my stomach got something to do with my face.
Right.
Big people rock. Okay.
That don't make no sense.
But I understand.
So also hashtag proud to be me, because whoever you are and whatever you are,
right.
You should be happy to be who you are.
Right.
Whatever God did when He made you, flat butt, big titties, small titties, whatever He did when He made you, be proud of that.
Right.
Okay. If you bought your booty and you bought your hips, be proud of that too, because you got the money to do it. Guess what? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
your body is yours.
I'm so glad that I was able to bring my children up in a more diverse world, because I didn't only go to a dominantly white school. I lived in a dominantly white neighborhood.
I know.
I walked to school with swastikas drawn on the mailboxes and things like that. So I got picked on. I've heard, you know, because kids, they don't know. They learn the stuff.
Right.
But they don't start out with the stuff. So kids that was my friends in school, I've overheard their parents saying, you can't go to that nigga's house, or that nigga can't spend the night at my house, and things like that. So I'm thankful for that experience, because it let me know that there's other things going on.
Right.
But I'm just glad that my kids didn't really have to go through that.
Right.
They lived a more diverse life.
Right.
You know what I mean? Being around different races, different types of people, and this, that, and the other. It was almost like, when I was little, it was almost like going to an all-black neighborhood was an adjustment for me. Like, I had to adjust my way of thinking. I had to adjust my way of being, because I'm so used to, like, either being on the defense or acting a certain way, that when I went to an all-black neighborhood, I was like,
you know what?
it was almost weird to me.
That's funny because, and I think you know this, we always talk about stuff like this every time I move, every 6 months. But it's funny because of the things I went through in that white school, and by me growing up in a predominantly black and Hispanic neighborhood, I always made sure that I lived in a predominantly black and Hispanic neighborhood, because that's my comfort zone. I don't have problems in these neighborhoods because these people are just like me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I've never had a situation. That's why when I was in Pennsylvania and my daughter had that situation, we were in a suburban area, but it was predominantly blacks. It was predominantly blacks that had good jobs and they were doing well for themselves.
Right.
So it was really funny to me. I was like, how is she going through this?
Right.
You know, she's in a black neighborhood. You know what I mean? Like, I can see if she went through this in a white neighborhood. You know, so that was like a culture shock for me, because I'm like, this doesn't happen in black neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's funny because when we moved back to New York, back to another black neighborhood, she felt totally comfortable. You know, I think I might bring her for this month, because she actually has a very interesting story also about how she had confidence, lost confidence, and gained it back from just being a black girl in these different neighborhoods that I moved her to. That were all black neighborhoods, but different situations. And she wrote an autobiography about it. She got an A, y'all. So yeah, so this was amazing, guys. You guys are very intelligent.
Thank you.
Great insight, and you are definitely gonna go far in life.
Mama don't raise no fools. Don't do that, dummy.
Right. So give us a shout out, y'all, before we go. Each one.
Y'all gotta say, don't do that, dummy.
Exactly.
In some kind of
way.
fashion.
Right.
You know. Zhuzh it up.
Right.
You go first.
That gum must be
Any
real
day
good.
now.
My gum good too.
Okay.
I know y'all all
Right.
So you
What's your don't do that dummy
for
for
some
the night?
reason they didn't learn manners along the way. No.
What's your don't do that dummy for the night? That may make it easier. For Black History Month. What's your Black History Month don't do that dummy? What do you want to say to the world?
He had something. Frank, you wanted to say something. I did it to you again. There you go.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we talked about police brutality today, right?
And racial profiling.
Right.
Okay, so cursing out a police officer, don't do that, dummy.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Hugh.
And go. What was that?
I don't know. Let people make you out for something that you're not. Don't do that, dummy.
Okay, that's a good one too.
All right.
All right. My don't do that, dummy, is for the cops. Stop picking on people.
Stop harassing us.
Stop harassing people.
Leave us
Don't
alone.
do that, dummy. Learn your environment. If you're gonna be in somebody's neighborhood, learn that neighborhood before you start asking little kids why they out for lunch at 2:00 in the afternoon. Don't do that, dummy. Okay? I'm just saying.
'Cause
Stop
I'm
kicking
black.
people on the train just because he's tired and he had a hard day's work. Don't do that, dummy.
Don't do that, dummy.
Right.
Don't do that.
Okay, your turn, Nikki. I had enough.
My don't do that, dummy, goes to my own people. Stop being divided because they don't see no difference in any of us. They see
Preach.
us all the same. So let's stop being divided.
That's right.
Let's unite.
That's right.
And let's do what we got to do as a people. This is why other races get Spanish people stick together. They will build a whole community. Some of them come to
Well,
America.
not all Spanish people, just Mexicans.
No.
Not all Spanish.
Not just it's not
Dominicans
just
do not
Dominicans
stick
are black.
together.
it's not
Just
just
saying.
Mexicans.
Dominicans are
I
black.
mean, in all race, there's gonna be like some people that stray off, but for the most part, you could find an all Spanish name. There's people could come from a Spanish country, move to a Spanish neighborhood, and never have to learn English.
Nope.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
Never have to
But that's
learn
only
English.
because the area is Spanish. I mean,
Right, and they built and they have their own businesses there.
they do. The bodegas be hot, y'all. Keep making
Yes,
sandwiches.
they have their own businesses in their own neighborhoods,
They be
and,
hooking it up,
and
though.
that money is circulating amongst them and their people.
true.
We do not do that. We do not
That
do that.
is true.
Just
Who has stores in our neighborhoods? The Habibis.
Yep.
Happy.
Sorry,
The
we calling
Asian-
y'all that. We
sorry.
don't even-
I'm
the
sorry.
dot heads,
That-
the ones
that was
be
wrong.
going,
Right. But
But y'all know y'all.
Indians,
Asians.
Asians,
All the ones that own Dunkin' Donuts. Come on, stop playing. Like,
right? That's
it
who got
could
the
be-
stores in our neighborhoods.
Y'all could be in
and that's who-
Chinatown and y'all still be at them Dunkin' Donuts in Chinatown.
Right. We are supporting.
How y'all even know about the job opening?
We are supporting people's families in other countries because that's what they do. They come here, they make their money, they send their money to their families in their country and this and that other, which is all good. But why can't we do that? For
Now I will say this.
And
Wait,
on the-
I will say this though. I'm sorry. It's not all black people. I have to say I'm so sorry. Please nobody get mad at me because my mama is from the South. My mama American. But I feel like what Nikki's talking about is American blacks. Because West Indians, they gets it in. They work. They build businesses. They do what they got to do. They just like what she's saying the Hispanics do. I'm sorry. West Indians and Africans. Africans build their businesses. They be selling. They would sell you a freaking rubber band. Okay? They would feed their family off of selling rubber bands.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But they
like,
right.
I feel like
but
the
they
black
will
people we talking about are American blacks. And that goes back to our cultural show that we had about the difference between American blacks and West Indian blacks. I think American blacks are a little lazier. I'm sorry. I think they're lazier. They have less ambition.
I think that
For the most part. Not y'all, but I'm just saying.
I think the gist of the message is that even if you look at history, we don't get anywhere being divided.
Nope.
Right.
You only progress being united. That's how we get. This is how we gotten this far. That's how the other races gotten this far. That's how racism still exists. White people stuck together. KKK,
Yep.
they stuck together. It was never
Yep.
just one. That
Yep.
was a group.
Yep.
So if you want anything negative or positive to actually go anywhere, you have to be united.
Yeah.
You
that's
want
true.
change? Get with your peoples.
That's true.
Exactly.
Right.
Instead
That's true.
of putting each other down because nobody got the newest pair of Jordans, even though it's the same sneakers,
Man,
different
talk
color.
about it.
Know how long I have to
We
wait
should,
on mine
we
just to get the
should,
new sixes?
we should do fashion. We should do fashion for Black History Month. Black History fashion.
And I could
we
even
come
and
back
I
for
could
that?
even go into where all that comes from for Black Americans because they've been instilled the difference between Black Americans and Black Caribbeans or Africans is this that and the other is because they came here with their own culture.
Right.
We came here and got divided up
Right.
into different
Right.
things, and we lost our culture, so we lost our unity, and they split us up. That's how you got the house Negro. That's how you got the field Negro. That's
Right,
how you got
right,
the one that's
right,
the cook.
right.
That's how you got the one that's the maid, and
The
this, that, and the
butler
other.
and all that.
And right, so we got divided that way. So then it became, a what you got type of thing.
Right.
And we still got that mentality
Yep.
of what you got determines
Ain't
who
nothing
you
wrong with
are
shopping at
in
Kmart
this
and
world.
Walmart.
You swear that what you got determines
Nothing wrong with
who
it.
you are in this world. So I'm not gonna get into all that, but that's what it is.
still look
Just don't do that, dummy, and stop doing that, dummy.
Stop doing that, dummy. That's a good one. Stop doing that, dummy.
Yeah, stop doing that. Dummy.
Yo, so we about to be out the building.
Yes,
Thank
and-
y'all for tuning in.
And on our way out, I'ma play a song with me and 100 Stacks called Black Hurt.
Yes.
It's our song for Black History Month. It's just our song in general. We just got
We
frustrated
tryna make
with the
a
stuff
theme
that was
song
going
for
on.
But-
the
the whole
month.
month.
And me and
But
Frank
yeah.
are gonna hit the whip to it because you can hit the whip to any song.
You already
Watch
know.
us, y'all.
I'm done.
Oh, and
so
before
silly.
we go, I just want y'all to buy our mixtape. It's called "Going Up on a Down Escalator."
I'm done.
Wait,
We
y'all have a
going
mixtape
places.
now?
We going
No.
places.
Oh, they stupid.
Fried chicken on the radiator. What's
said,
good?
"Go up on a
Down
down
escalator.
escalator."
Yo, coin that. Somebody might try to take it.
Right.
You heard it here first.
He just tried to
Exclusive.
take it. That was my idea.
See? Divided already.
Crazy.
Hey,
All right.
I'm stingy.
So good night, y'all. We're gonna leave y'all with 100 Stacks featuring Nikki Brown, Black Hurts.
Yeah, boy.
Just because I say being black hurt don't mean I don't love being black. It just means that I'ma speak up against the injustices in our society. Feel me? Let's go. It ain't a question in my mind, I'm a nigga, whether working 9 to 5 or a stone cold killer. We only on the tube when we acting like a fool, or we killing one another on the 10 o'clock news. The imagery we're given is the same definition of the word that names our race and who we are, black. Beaten, mistreated,